Let me tell you a secret. Work life balance is not an equal measurement. It's not you saying work will exactly be balanced with life and you're going to have this form of thing. What you often get is something that looks like this, where it's always fluttering one way or the other. And at no point is it going to be full work or is it going to be full pleasure and life. It's going to be this wavering piece. And while we can kind of come to terms with that and say, okay, does that mean we cannot have balance in life? What we should do is to kind of take a step back, really understand the fact that what you're trying to find is to bring this to a form of motion or a form of balance that works for you. And that's what we're going to talk about today. More than your salary, more than the size of your house, more than the prestige of your job, control over doing what you want, when you want to, with the people you want to, is the broadest lifestyle variable that makes people happy. Morgan Housel said that in The Psychology of Money. And it's one of the core things to think about when you're thinking about bringing balance to our lives. It's to map out all the aspects of our life, be it work, be it life, be it everything else, and figure out what our priorities are, what our must haves are, and what are the things that we can only add on if we feel they're good to have and not necessarily must haves. Let's start with priorities. We all have priorities in our life, and oftentimes we think those priorities are to do with our work. We also have priorities in our life, could be family, could be friends, could just be, could have a pet at home, could be so many other things. And all these aspects together in many ways are always vying for your attention, are always asking you, oh, prioritize me right now, oh, focus on me right now. And it's because of that moving around of our focus, we're looking at this shiny object, we're looking at that shiny object, we're always figuring out, okay, what do I give my priority or rather my focus at this point of time. And if you look at people who have actually succeeded in finding balance, what you actually come to realize is that they understand this core method of figuring out how to prioritize and how to put some things in front and put some things in a, if I have time, I'll do it. And that's actually done by a simple method. It's a method I'm actually been working on for a while. It's really helped me in my life. And that's what I want to kind of tap into to make all of you do this. So if you have a pen and paper, or if you want to note this down, make sure you do that right now, because this method in many ways has helped me and can help you find that balance in your life. The interest graph. That's what it's called. Take a sheet of paper, take out your phone, take out whatever you want, and write down all the things you want to focus on in your life. Now, make a long list, put down as many as possible. Could be serious things, could be fun things, could be random things. Make that list as long as possible, put them all down on paper, and really try to understand all the things that you feel that you want to do, and in some cases, some of those things which you have to do. And when you have that entire list down, what you have to do is take a paper and draw two circles. In one circle, you put down all the things that you know are your core serious priorities. All the things you have to go deep into, really focus on for your career, for your work, for you to progress, which will demand also the most amount of time from you. But there is one thing you have to do. You can only choose two things from all the things that you have and put them in that circle. Just two. And then you have the other circle. You turn around and think of all the stuff that you've written down, which are fun things to do, which you wish you had more time to do, just because either you think you'll enjoy them or you believe if you had more time, you would get to have a more fulfilled and happy life. But even there, you can only pick two. Put two on the fun side, put two in the serious side. The serious one demands more time, it demands more attention. It requires you to go far deeper into things and far deeper into understanding every aspect of it so you can kind of move forward. The fun stuff is flexible. You can kind of shove it into any part of your day or week. You can maybe pick it up whenever you want, but you want it to be a part of your life. And you also want to figure out a way to make this truly work and become a core part of your life. Now, all the other things, take them and put them in that third circle. They're one of those, okay, maybe I'll pick this up at a later time, and it's not my priority right now. Because let's be honest, not all of us can prioritize everything in our lives. We get to choose maybe two to four to maybe five things. And over time, what we realize is that as you try to add more things onto your plate, you don't focus enough on all the things that you actually should be focusing on, that you actually want to focus on. And that's where things go off balance. That's where things go sideways. So take your interest graph and put these circles down, put that points down there, and then you'll notice that something starts to happen over time. You see the fact that both these circles aren't separate. They start coming together almost like a Venn diagram. You notice that sometimes some of the fun stuff starts moving out of the fun side into the serious side because you want to take it more seriously. I realized that like me being a creator, I was an entrepreneur focused on going deep into that aspect. I became a creator because I thought it'd be a fun thing to do every week, a couple of hours a week. But the more I did it, apart from the fun, it became something I wanted to go far deeper into. The deeper I went, the more I wanted to move it from my fun side to my more serious side. And I started to prioritize it more from a time perspective because it became serious, it needed more time. And suddenly, I realized it's not even something that is moving to the serious side. It's actually something that is taking away the amount of time I actually wanted to give for some aspects of my entrepreneur side. And what we come to realize is the simple fact that some things are things you prioritize in the short term, and some things are things you prioritize in the long term. And understanding that difference is almost like you saying, okay, this is the amount of time I'm giving it, but I'm giving it on a consistent basis in the long term. Versus, this is something I really have to focus on now in the short term. So I'm giving it more time now, but over time, that might just reduce. And that's how I moved from a large amount of priority to my entrepreneur journey to now a large priority to my creator journey. And that shift had to be seamless, it had to be balanced, it had to go slowly. So you're not suddenly going like this, you're going slowly like this, and you're finding that level of balance there. And while you're doing all these things to figure your priorities, the bigger stuff, on the fun side, we all still want to be distracted, right? We all want to scroll on social media, we want to watch stuff on YouTube, we want to do all those fun distraction activities that we all enjoy. What we should do is figure a way to schedule that into our day, saying, okay, this is a period of time in the day and I'm just going to sit and scroll through my phone. I'm going to enjoy that to its fullest. I am not going to feel ashamed about it. I'm not going to feel like I'm being unproductive by doing it, but I'm giving it its time. In the same way, what you also need to schedule in is, when are you looking at the future? When are you future gazing towards things? When you're kind of thinking about, okay, this is where I want to go or where I have to go in the future. I do that, for instance, on Sunday nights. Sit Sunday night, plan my entire week out, think about what I'm going to do that week. It reduces the anxiety that I feel in the days to come. Also keeps me a lot clearer in my mind about what I'm really prioritizing in the short term, in the long term. So you future gaze on a schedule, you add in distractions on a schedule. And don't be like rigid about it. It's fine if half an hour becomes 1 hour here and there. The balance is never going to be flat. It's always going to be fluttering like this. And the last thing, and I would say the most important thing, is that through your day and through your week, you need to have time to rest. Need to have time that's away from a screen, away from work, away from the priorities, which is just letting your mind rest. It's letting your mind kind of be calm and not just reflect, but to kind of refresh. Now, the most important aspect of this is, oftentimes when we want to rest, we all pick up our phones. We all, start, maybe even go for a walk and start thinking about, oh my God, I have this meeting coming up, or I have to do this errand after this, or I have this on my to do list. You have to kind of, in your head, clear out all the stuff that you have to do and that you have running at the back of your head. And it's not an easy thing to do. You build that over time. But the more clutter free your rest time is, the more rested you will be. The more rested you will be, the more energy you will have. The more energy you have, the more balance you find. These are some of the core aspects I've actually learned over time that really have helped me bring balance to my life. And I hope you can build your own interest graph. You can build your own schedule to bring in that level of calmness to your rest time, to be able to look at the future, to be able to also be distracted when you want to be distracted. But more than anything else, it's helping you find a way to slowly grow with a certain level of happiness, grow with a certain level of clarity, and that's about it. So before you head out and start making your interest graph, I want to make sure you hit subscribe and smash that bell icon so you get all these updates, all this content on your feeds. And if you also want to get this as a daily dose, make sure you check out our YouTube shorts and also all the stuff we do on Instagram, on podcasts, and everywhere else. So till next time, take it slow and you will grow. That sounded very random, but that's what I'm seeing right now.